Held under the theme Activating Radical Local Philanthropy, the 4th edition of the Ghana Giving Summit convened approximately 80 civil society organizations and non-governmental organizations to address key barriers hindering the sustainable development priorities of local communities. In addition to a panel discussion, the various CSOs and NGOs were divided into 5 groups to deliberate on the 5 pillars of the SDGs. Speaking to the press on the sidelines, the Membership and Ecosystems Assistance for the Worldwide Grant Initiative for Grant Taker Support, Prince Nii Afotey revealed, lack of policy framework on philanthropy in Ghana is a major challenge hampering contribution of CSOs and NGOs to the attainment of the SDGs.
If you look at any jurisdiction where philanthropy has thrived, you are talking about a policy environment or an enabling environment that has allowed for philanthropy to be, to work. We don't have that in Ghana. Like the example I gave you, when CSOs import the equipment to work, they need to pay tariffs. In other countries, that doesn't exist. These are matters of legislation. If you are able to give subsidies or tax waivers to profit organizations or corporations or large businesses, you should be able to do the same for CSOs because these are social impact organizations. Do you get it? Tax waivers, tariff waivers, shipment waive, all these things are, and at the end of the day, CSOs and their operations shouldn't be a substitute for government inefficiency. It should complement it. So if they should complement it, there should be a policy that guides it. There should be a policy that guides philanthropy. There should be a policy that gives us a taxonomy of what philanthropy is and what it is not. That way, if somebody is misstepping the bounds of philanthropy for their selfish gains and interests, we have instruments that can prosecute them. At the end of the day, we don't have that in Ghana. So people do whatever they want and we are at a loss.
In the face of diminishing donor support, the National Coordinator for CSOs on the SDGs in Ghana, Evelyn Asiedu, urged CSOs and NGOs to reinvigorate their effort to attract the necessary funds for their project.
The SDG financing gap is about $43 billion every year to achieve the SDGs. So we need to re-galvanize our giving efforts and channel it deliberately to need areas, especially on the SDGs that are lacking or veering off track. Fortunately for us in Ghana, the NDPC has come up with a number of catalytic indicators that can help us achieve the SDGs if we tackle those indicators. So our resource mobilization efforts should rather now be focusing on those catalytic indicators that can help us achieve the Sustainable Development Goals.
The acting director for the Center for Strategic Philanthropy and Social Investment, Emmanuel Mafo, however, called for improved data availability to drive policy formulation and donor support.
But one thing that is lacking is about data. For us to be able to know what Ghana has done in terms of education, in terms of economic empowerment, or in climate change, if we don't have data of what philanthropy organization is doing, we will not be able to know what has been done. So it is so important for Ghana to be able to know the extent of investment into the various SDGs. Whilst the CSOs are implementing innovations, we need to be able to know the points, the kind of funding, the kind of support that has come from the SDGs and the the philanthropy organizations in the various SDG goals. Again, we should be able to track what has not been done. So is it education has received less support? Is it economic or climate change or poverty? So that in the future, we now begin to look at policies and actions that can address what has not been done.
A comprehensive policy framework is required to fast-track the contributions of CSOs and NGOs toward the attainment of the SDGs in Ghana. Carlos Caloni, JoyNews.